This is a quick video on how to change a fraction into a decimal and a percentage. There's actually quite a few ways to do that, and this is not intended to be exhaustive, it's just a couple of options. So let's have a look at those. First of all, if we start off with a fraction of a quarter. There are some fractions that I'm hoping you really should just know. We know that a half is 0.5 or 50%. So if we can recognise that a quarter is half of a half, then we can say that it's 25%. And if we want to move from a percentage to a decimal, we are moving the decimal point 2 places in, so I get 0.25. And that's that kind of question done. So those ones are the ones that I'm really hoping that you can just look at and say, I know those. And that would be things like thirds that we know, 33 and 3 repeater percent. I'd hope you'd know that. You might not know a fifth, so let's have a look at some options for how we can get a fifth into a percentage. Well, one of the ways for any fraction we can aim to get a percentage or a decimal is to get it over 100 or over 10. Those are some nice options for us. So if we just focus on getting it into a decimal to start with. As a decimal, we know that when we do units, we go, hundreds column, tens column, units column, and then we have a tenths column. So getting it over 10 will give us a digit in the tens column, tenths column. So in this case, we're just looking for an equivalent fraction that gives us a 10 at the bottom. In this case, 5 times 2 is 10, 1 times 2 is 2, so the decimal is 0.2. If we were looking at it over 100, we'd be multiplying this one by 10, and so I get 20 over 100. That doesn't change the decimal, but it does let us know that the percentage is 20%. The other way that we could look at getting a percentage from that decimal is to move the decimal place 2 points to the right. So it goes from there, 1 place, 2 places, and I end up with the 20%. If we look at things that are a little bit less pleasant than that, let's say 4 over 15. There are quite a few ways we can find a decimal or a percentage here. I'm only going to focus on one of them in this video. And I'm going to focus on using division. So for this question, we are talking about 15 dividing into 4. 15 doesn't go into 4. So I put a 0 down and the decimal point. I know that my number is less than 1 because it was 4 over 15. So now I'm going to start working my way down the columns here. There is actually a decimal point there, but we're just going to think about this as 40. Does 15 go into 40? It does. Twice, as it happens, leaving, well, 2 times 15 is 30, leaving us 10 left over. Now that 10 is sitting in that column there, and 15 doesn't go into 10, so I add my 0, and I say 15 does go into 100. 6 lots of 15 is 90, so I write my 6 down here. That was 90 out of 100, so there's 10 left over, and straight away I can see that this is repeating. It goes into 100 6 times with 10 left over, and I'm just going to keep on getting those things going there, so it's 6 is repeating. That's the decimal. The percentage involves moving that decimal point 2 places over. And I have 6 repeating.